Okay, we are back with another Spider-Man 2 video. We're going to keep doing this until the game comes out, honestly. So in this one, we're going to be talking about a few topics. The first one I want to get into is Craven, and talking about his storyline in this game, and why, honestly, they should not be adapting Craven's Last Hunt, because I've seen a lot of people really want that. Now, before we get into the video, if you could subscribe, we are literally 400 or actually 300 subscribers away. We are at 49,669. let's go baby. All right, so if you guys can go ahead and subscribe, I'm gonna be pumping out videos until freaking August, and that's when I want it. I need it in 3 days, so let's go ahead and get to it. Now, this Craven storyline is a little bit weird because it's actually, from what we see in the story trailer, it's implied that this is the first time that we've ever actually met him, or at least Spider-Man's ever met him.
Hey MJ, I have another name for you. Craven.
In this universe, we haven't seen or actually heard anything about Craven, at least from my knowledge. We know about Chameleon. I don't think we heard about Craven in the last game unless I'm going crazy. I don't think there was any big references, like any name drops, any real Easter eggs that really showed his thing. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but when we're seeing in the trailer, he literally goes up to MJ, he's like, I got a name for you, Craven. And it's just like he doesn't know who he is. So, you know, right now, I feel like it should be them building a bond with Craven in a way, kind of establishing his villainy, trying to establish who he is as a character, and of course, like, who he is deep down mentally. And I think that they could really do that in some capacity in this game. I mean, just him going out to New York to look for new hunts is just insane. That's like literally bonkers. So I really hope Spider-Man points that out, and I hope that they actually really explore Craven's character deeply, because there's a lot of fucked up shit in the comics about his character. You could just go look at a video. He is really insane. But the storyline, it might work, but I just don't see it working. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't see him actually beating Spider-Man, burying him like that. I can see them adapting that moment right there, where Peter is literally buried alive and he has to like crawl his way out. And oh my god, you just start mashing square and he's like punching his way out of the grave and he comes out. That would be the coolest fucking moment. I swear, that'd be so amazing. But I don't think they're going to do it in this game. And I don't think that they're going to do like Craven's Last Hunt in this game, because it's just too fast for his character. We don't have Vermin. Vermin wasn't set up. Maybe they do set up Vermin in this game. That's also a big point of his character. And just overall, like, it could work burying him alive because we have Miles around. Miles can go out, and maybe that's what he's doing at Craven's house to begin with. Maybe there's a type of moment in the game where Peter is missing and he's actually buried alive, and it's Miles. You have to go out and try to save him, but realistically you don't know where he is, so Peter has to save himself in some way. So that can happen, but I personally just don't see Craven doing that in this game, and I really hope they try to bring him back in the next game and they actually do that, or maybe in like some type of DLC. I just don't want him to, you know, unalive himself in this game, because it's too soon for his character, in my opinion. Another thing we have to talk about is Peter being Venom. This is a theory going around. Everybody's talking about it. Even after the story trailer, people are even more convinced that Peter is potentially going to be Venom. And personally, I don't see it. Like, it's a possibility, because one, if Venom is playable, I can see them doing it in a way where it is Peter, so you're not switching so much. And it's not like Eddie and it's not Harry, and you have to literally switch like completely different characters, like besides Miles. So I can see them doing that in some capacity, maybe even making Peter a monstrous form for a few minutes and making him into like a rampage monster, and that'd be cool, having that white logo there. Maybe that's how he gets the white logo to begin with. But I think there's going to be multiple Venom symbiotes, or multiple Venom entities, I should say, that are running around doing crazy shit. So whoever has the Venom symbiote first, or whoever has the symbiote first, is going to be running around as like a hulking monster without the logo, and it's just literally a giant black goo monster causing chaos in New York. That will be very fun to see. That's the interesting part that I'm excited to see. And then of course it jumps off to Peter, and then Peter has it, and of course he slowly evolves. His logo's changing. We've already seen that in the trailer. We know that's happening. His personality's changing. He's going a little bit more crazy, and of course, since he's Spider-Man, he's kind of resisting a little bit more. He has more of a resistance to that type of Venom monstrous form than all the other guys do. So it would make sense for him to kind of keep it in him for a while, but if they keep progressing that character more and more and more, they keep pushing Peter more and more, he'll eventually burst out into Venom. And I can see that happening within like the Miles fight. Like if of course Miles and Peter fight and it's just Miles trying to fight symbiote Peter and beat his ass, I can see Peter slowly bursting out into a monstrous form and having that logo, and maybe even Venom like slowly emerging and trying to like burst himself out into that monstrous form. But of course he's suppressing it, Peter's suppressing it, and that slowly happens throughout the game, throughout his little arc. And I think that would be a little bit of a fun way to twist it in some ways, but I just don't see Peter being a main antagonist in this game. It just would not make sense. He will not be playable as Spider-Man for longer than an hour. It's either he'll become Venom, we play as Venom a little bit, we play as Miles, and then we stop Peter, and then that's how the symbiote leaves Peter. But we're not going to be fighting Peter throughout the whole game. I just don't see that happening. Like emotionally, sure, but like physically, he's not going to be Venom. I just don't think that he'll be Venom throughout this whole game. And I think that it's really an interesting theory, and it could really be a weird twist, but I just don't like it personally. And back to that Miles and Peter fight thing, a lot of people are like very disappointed that, you know, Miles might be the type of key to stopping Venom and stopping the symbiote and start trying to help Peter and whatnot. And I could see that frustration because a lot of people want that clock tower scene, and low-key I kind of want that as well. I'm not gonna lie, that would be a very nice scene to have. But I think the way they're doing it, of course they've already said they want to try something different and they want to do their own thing. I could see them doing something along the lines of course, Miles saving Peter. And we already heard that. I never really talked about this freaking scene in an actual video. But this right here...
Miles, I need your help! What is this stuff? Nice! One more time! On 3! 1, 2, 3!
You know, there's so many different things you could take from it. One, you could say that it's just made for the trailer for the PS4, and it's literally just Miles, you know, saying, oh, I got a good idea. Or it could just easily be a spoiler, and they're literally showing us how Miles gets the symbiote off of Peter, and that's kind of what it sounds like is happening. We don't know the full context of the scene, we don't know when it's going to happen, we don't know what it's going to look like, but that's exactly what I imagine would happen in the game. You know, Miles having a good idea, coming up to Peter and shocking him again, and then the symbiote dispersed. And I honestly hope they get rid of the fire weakness for the Venom symbiote. I think that's one of the dumbest weaknesses that it can have. I think electricity and sound are really good for it, right? But back to the whole Miles thing, I think that that's a low-key spoiler, and it's a little bit weird, but we kind of knew that, you know, symbiote Peter isn't going to last throughout the whole game. I think the way that we're really looking at it is how it's going to get off, but it could really go either way. I think that, you know, maybe he'll help kind of get him to that point of relaxing and not being a monstrous form like I was talking about earlier, and then maybe Peter will run off and realize the error of his ways and maybe get off in a clock tower. But, you know, again, them saying it's not Eddie, them saying he's not going to be a Venom in the game, the clock tower scene kind of is pointless. Because, I mean, in many ways, that's where freaking Eddie gets the symbiote. So, you know, having the clock tower scene is more synonymous with Eddie as well. And I don't know. There's a lot of big things and big moments that can happen in this game from the comic storylines. Of course, like a lot of people are, like I was talking about with Craven's Last Hunt, with that storyline, Peter's wearing the symbiote suit, or he's wearing basically the cloth version of the symbiote suit. So a lot of people are trying to like point to that and the fact that Craven's in this game, and they want them to make that connection and do that. But, you know, even with the Venom thing too with Eddie, I personally just think that there's so many storylines that they're gonna abandon in favor for their own thing, and they're gonna pull little things from those storylines like Last Hunt, and like of course the first appearances of Venom, and you know, Peter getting the symbiote off and stuff like that, and all those different storylines and moments, and they're gonna do different things with it, and I'm excited to see it. Honestly, I'm excited to see what their type of interpretation and their type of adaptation are of those moments and of the storylines. And yeah, I'm just so pumped for this game. I can't wait to see what they do. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for more videos in the future, and I'll see you guys on my next one. Peace out.